With week 1 and the alpha bracket of VCT lock-in over, with LOUD and DRX making it to the top 4, beating some formidable opposition, it's time to move on to the Omega bracket and rate the teams there. With Scream and Navira leaving and Demasik becoming the 6th man, Team Liquid are left with the core of Soulcas and Yambi. They then added 2 players from Mech, the IGL Redgar, and Nats, who is arguably the best controller player in the world. Plus they've also added Safe, who was one of Guild's standout players. Personally, I see all these players as upgrades, as Redgar will bring better structure to the team, which they desperately needed, and Nats and Safe bring a lot of consistency.
Can you do it? He's found the first step of 2v2, but time is starting to play a factor in Nats. He's slowly working his way around. He's got another. Nats has done it all!
My God.
A+ tier.
Losing Wits and a Spencer, but keeping the old guns of Dubstep, Borkum and Jesse Vash, as well as Jeremy. Team Secret have added the young guns of Lenny and Envy. Team Secret last year were doing relatively well regionally. However, they still failed to get over the line when it came to qualify for an international event. So it's hard to know whether they will be hard hitters against the best teams in the world.
Okay, that's not what I expected. That was Jet, huh?
Wow. That's the Phantom Gang right there.
C tier.
Navi has bought the whole FPX core, swapping out Ardis for the Turkish superstar CNED. FPX were the best and most consistent EMEA team last year. Winning the Copenhagen Master event, it's certainly going to be very drilled. CNED, I think, is on equal skill as Ardis, but didn't get to show it last year.
CNED! You might as well form an entire picture with a puzzle piece of CNED. You don't need anybody else. He completes a whole team!
S tier.
Compared to 2021, Crew did not find much success internationally last year. Therefore, this has caused a bit of a shuffle in the LATAM and South American region. Losing Kesnet, Delzik and Muzino, we're left with Nagzek and Klaus. They've then added the star controller from Leviathan in Meltzer, Zand from Nip, and the other twos, some rising stars in the region, in Devasi S and Xedi. In terms of firepower, this is about an even trade. The region is known for having a lot of it. It's just unknown how well the structure of the team will be.
Surely he can't get the 4th. He's intelligent with it. Rotates around, plays the positioning of the pillar, and time for the spike, and he gets it! Unreal scenes!
B tier.
Remaining with the same 5 core as last year, and adding the 6th of Barsi, the Japanese team had a miracle underdog run at Masters Reykjavik, finishing top 3 and beating top teams such as Team Liquid, DRX and PaperX. However, the remainder of the year was somewhat underwhelming, not really making any deep runs in Masters Copenhagen or Champions. Therefore, seeing this team not make any changes, it's hard to tell if they can replicate the success from Iceland with the same puzzle pieces.
B tier.
Being the second best team in South America last year, Leviathan did not escape from the shuffle. As mentioned before, they lost Meltzer, as well as its Verso. Then they are left with Takulia, King, and Shai. They are then joined by Cruz Muzino and NZR, putting Kesnet from Crew as their 6th. Again, This is a good trade in terms of firepower. Keeping Takulia, who is one of the best players in South America, the arrangement of this team is a mystery until the first game is played. Considering Takulia was a chambermain last year, and he has also been nerfed, we will wonder if he will be able to replicate the highs he had last year.
A tier.
Previously playing in Tier 2, Vitality have been brought into the Tier 1 for the first time. The old roster, being Baddie G, Sender, Hyber, Bone Cold and Natank, has had a few changes, losing Hyber, Baddie G, Natank, Famolsi, Destrian and Big Star Twiston. Red Bull Homeground saw them knocking out Team Heretics, but end up losing to 100 Thieves, who did go on to win the event. Team Vitality has the potential to have good structure, considering they have a champions winning IGL, but the other 4 players have not played in a VCT international event, so it's hard to predict how well they will perform.
B tier.
Global Esports has 7 players in total, and only 2 of which have had international experience. Aaron, who played for Exet, who did pretty well in 2022, and Bazzi, who played for Crazy Raccoons in 2021, but didn't play internationally last year. The rest have good regional skill, but they're unknown internationally. They also might have a language barrier that native-speaking teams don't have, due to the fact that Bazzi is Korean and hasn't played in an English-speaking roster. All these factors adding in lead them to be the weakest team in the tournament.
D tier.
The second Turkish team in franchising, but they are also the second best. Consisting of Kurax, Moj, Mr. Fallon, Mooj and Qeon. Not having the same star power and name recognition as BBL, who in fact got first rounded in their side of the bracket by DRX, it's not looking too promising, but they can still prove me wrong.
C tier.
With the Boom Duo or Flipsider and Tobotle, who did play in Champions last year, however they did not manage to win a single game, but they did take a map of the eventual runners-up in Optic. They then added 3 other players, EJ, 2GE and Lemimora. They are all 3 up-and-comers in the region. Due to them being up-and-comers, and the depth of Southeast Asia not being as strong as EMEA and NA, it's hard to put them in the high tier, due to the calibre that the up-and-comers will be playing against.
C tier.
Currently, 100 Thieves are looking to be the best team in North America at the moment. Removing Will from the lineup, being replaced by Exet superstar Cryocells, this team synergy at the moment is looking flawless, with Stella looking to be the best IGL in North America behind FNS, Asuna being the best flex player, Vang being the most consistent controller player in the region, and Derek being one of the best minds to have in a clutch. This team's skill ceiling is very high. They are also in great form, having just won Red Bull Homeground, besting their NA counterparts in Cloud9 with a very decisive 3-0 victory. 100 Thieves are definitely one to watch.
S tier.
Last year, Edward Gaming made a shocking run in the East Asia Last Chance qualifier to make Champions last year, without dropping a single map. At Champions, they only managed to win 1 map, but it was of Paper X. Like PaperX, Edward Gaming have a very aggressive style, but with Edward Gaming it's turned up to the max. However, is this a consistent way to play?
Zeta.
Sentinels were not on the international map last year, failing to qualify for a tournament. They have then removed 2 players from their original Iceland winning core in Shazam and Dapper, and putting Sick as their 6th man. Sentinels have kept the star man Tense of course, and added the Brazilian LOUD duo of Sassy and Pancada, as well as the Exet duo of Def and Zekken. Sassy being ever consistent in the initiator role for LOUD, and Pancada being one of the best controllers in the world last year. I also consider Zekken to be a top 5 player in the region. The roster is stacked with firepower. If Def manage to piece this team together correctly, they can be world beating.
He's gonna come out, and Zekken lands another! Aaron playing on the other side of the smoke again. Zekken with 3 on the round. What can Sean and P do? It's an 8.
Esther.
Removing Mystic and Enzo, adding Mech Godlike Initiator Chronicle, and Guildstar Leo. I consider this certainly an upgrade in terms of firepower. With Durka and Alpha here, it's certainly a team to be feared. Durka especially, who I consider to be one of the best players in the world. Let's see if Boaster can slot these new pieces into a cohesive unit and finally win some trophies.
Esther.
Moving from NA to represent their home country in Korea, T1 have compiled a very interesting team. With Zeta from Cloud9, Crazy Raccoon's Munchkin, Saya player from The Guard, who did very well regionally last year, and Ban, who also played in NA for Knights, having showed great mechanical skill, and Carpe, who was a demon DPS in Overwatch, however has not played in a professional Valorant environment. Not looking so cohesive in the Tower X Ludwig event, they may not do well against international competition. However, it's still early days.
Zeta.
Losing NZR for MW0, with the remaining players of Quick, Khalil, Mazin and DGZin. Furia did make it to champions last year. However, like most underdog teams, they did not win a game. But again, they did take a map off Fnatic. Maybe swapping out a single player can be the way to propel them to a high level.
Beta.
That's it for the matches in the Omega bracket. Let's see this week who will make it to the top 4 to meet LOUD and DRX. And again, thank you for watching till the very end.